You don't start the day with lessons. You start the day with a payment. A tiny coin pouch, a trembling hand, and a doorway that feels less like an entrance and more like a checkpoint. Because in this workshop, the first rule is simple. You don't get paid to learn. You pay to be allowed to stay. You step inside and the light changes. Dust floats on warm beams like it belongs to the place. A master shadow swallows the floor. And before you even breathe properly, your pouch is taken. Not stolen. Not snatched. Collected. Like a tax. And just like that, your apprenticeship begins soon. They don't hand you knowledge. They hand you weight. Stone. Tools. Pigment sacks. A chisel that looks innocent until your fingers shake near the edge. Your body learns the first lesson the hard way. Precision isn't talent here. It's survival. The master doesn't speak much. He doesn't need to. A tap of a cane on metal says more than a lecture ever could. A pause behind you says more than a shout. Every movement is watched. Every mistake is remembered. And you quickly understand something terrifying. This place doesn't care what you can create. It cares what you can endure. You swing the hammer. You feel the sting in your wrists. Dust bursts into the air like smoke. Your throat dries out and your stomach twists because you haven't eaten enough to have strength. But the room is full of other apprentices and nobody helps you. Not because they hate you, because helping you is expensive. Here, compassion has a price, and most of them can't afford it. Then the master slides a sealed parchment toward you. You can't read the words clearly, but you don't need to. You've seen contracts like this in the street. You've heard the rumors. The deal is never freedom. It's time. Your time. Your hands. Your years. And you realize something. Even the signature feels like a trap. You hover over the quill, and the master's shadow covers the page. That's the first cliff edge. Because once you sign, you don't just belong to the craft. You belong to the room. The day continues like a grindstone. Sweep. Carry. Grind pigments until your arms shake. Lift slabs that make your knees buckle. Hold your breath. A round finish start. Like one wrong touch will ruin everything. And that's when it starts. Not the lesson. The test. You see it on the floor. A single coin. Small. Perfect. Placed like it fell by accident. Your eyes lock on it before your brain can stop you. One coin won't make you rich. But one coin can buy a bite of bread. One coin can buy silence from hunger. Your fingers twitch. And you feel it. The room gets quieter. Not because the room is empty. Because everyone is watching. You look up and there it is. The same cold, heavy truth on every face. They want to see what you do. They want to see if you'll crawl for it. And suddenly, you're not in a workshop anymore. You're in an arena. That coin is not money. It's bait. Later, when it's night and the candles thin the shadows instead of killing them, you try to take it. Not because you're greedy, because you're tired. Because hunger turns principles into jokes. You slide your hand toward the coin like it's a secret. Then a candlelight sweep cuts across the floor. You freeze. Your fingers are a breath away. The light stops. Your heartbeat turns loud. And for a moment, you're sure you've been caught. Then the light moves on, and you grab it fast. You hide it inside your apron seam, and you think you got away with it. But you didn't notice the worst part. Some traps don't catch you with a rope. They catch you with witnesses. A chisel rolls. A tiny click echoes too loudly. The candle flares. And suddenly, you're standing in a circle of faces. The master doesn't shout. He doesn't have to. He yanks your apron. The coin drops and bounces like it's mocking you. And now everybody sees it. Your shame isn't private. It's public. You expect the coin to be taken and the punishment to end. But the master does something worse. He places the coin back on the floor. Same spot. Reset. Like a game. Like your dignity is something they can replay for entertainment. Cliff edge number 2. Because now you realize this wasn't about theft. It was about control. The next morning, the work gets heavier. You run pigment sacks across the room. Your arms ache. Your hands cramp around tools. And you think, maybe if you do everything perfectly, they'll teach you. Maybe if you hold your head down, you'll survive. Then hunger returns. You stare at the stew pot from far away, heat shimmering like a promise. The lid closes. A tiny bread piece lands in your palm. Then the master takes half of it back. A lesson without words. You will be grateful for less than you need. And then the bait returns again. A coin appears near where you sleep. Closer, more intimate. Like it's testing whether you can resist when no one is looking. But you feel it. This isn't random. It's systematic. And you start watching the shadows instead of the coin. You start noticing patterns. A step here. A pause there. A glance exchanged between two men who never lift a tool. And in the middle of the day, right when your body's exhausted and your mind is raw, you see the real machine behind the workshop. Twist one. The master isn't just training craftsmen. He's measuring obedience. A scribe scratches tally marks on a board. Not for your art, for your reactions. How fast you flinch. How long you hesitate. Whether you reach for bait. Whether you freeze when watched. This isn't a school. It's a behavioral factory. The apprentice fee isn't paying for knowledge. It's paying to be tested, to be shaped, to be turned into the kind of worker who doesn't question, doesn't resist, doesn't imagine anything outside the room. And suddenly, everything makes sense. The coin bait, the public circle, the contract, the hunger. They're not accidents. They're instruments. Now the workshop feels cold, even with warm light. Because once you say the system, you can't unsee it. And the system does not forgive awareness. You try something new. When the coin drops again, you don't react. No flinch. No glance. No twitch. You stand still like stone. The room leans in, waiting for you to fail. And that's when the master steps closer. Because if they can't control you with temptation, they'll control you with punishment. He takes your ration anyway. Not because you did wrong, but because he wants to prove something. The outcome isn't earned. It's decided. And the moment you understand that, you stop hoping. Hope is expensive in a place like this. At night, you find something you were never meant to see. A charcoal sketch hidden under dust. A child's face. Soft. Innocent. The kind of face that doesn't belong in a room built for obedience. You hold it like it's fragile. And your chest tightens. Because the drawing feels like a memory you don't own. Then the realization hits you so hard, it steals your breath. Twist 2. Dreams are contraband here. Not because they're dangerous, but because they remind you that you're human. A workshop can control hands. It can control hunger. It can control fear. But if it can't control imagination, it can't fully own you. You hide the sketch quickly when lantern light sweeps past. You freeze again. But this time it isn't because you want a coin. It's because you're protecting something else. A piece of childhood. A piece of freedom. Something the workshop can't measure with tally marks. And that's the final cliff edge. Because now you understand what this apprenticeship truly is. Not education. Not opportunity. It's a cage made of death. And it's reinforced with shame. The next day, you move faster. You grind pigments with perfect rhythm. You chisel lines clean. You carry slabs like your body is a tool. Your face still shows tears, but your eyes change. Less pleading, more focused. And that scares them more than mistakes ever did. Because obedience is easy to manage. A mind that's waking up, that's unpredictable. Near the end of the day, a new, younger apprentice walks through the door. Coin pouch in hand. Same terrified posture. Same swallowed breath. And you watch him notice the bait coin on the floor. You see his hand twitch. You see the circle begin to form. You see the system restart. And you realize this isn't just your day. It's a loop. A conveyor belt of fear. One child pays to enter. Gets tested. Gets shaped. Gets emptied. Then another arrives. And another. The master stands above it all like a judge in shadow. Never lifting a tool. Never risking anything. And the workshop keeps calling it training. But you know the truth now. You pay to learn. And what you learn first is this. In some places, freedom isn't taken from you in one dramatic moment. It's chipped away. Coin by coin. Crumb by crumb. Reaction by reaction. Until the only thing left is is a worker who doesn't even remember what he wanted. The final breath you take isn't relief. It's a promise to yourself. Not spoken. Not written. Just felt. If they're measuring your fear, then the most dangerous thing you can do is stop giving them any